Adam has arrived.
Hey, Maurice and Odie gonna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Snurdy is the best podcast. Gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna meet magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health, no, it's not scary. Ain't notice she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic and that's the best policy. Maurice the goat, talking about animation cause you know. Odie, she moving wavy like the boat. Watching some movies and she taking notes. Yeah, kick back, listen. Black and Snurdy have risen. Upload on a mission. 5 stars, never dissing. Black and Snurdy, ooh. Black and Snurdy, yeah. Black and Snurdy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black and Snurdy podcast, the only podcast where two sexy black nerds get together and shoot the shit. I am Mo, aka Kid Licorice.
And I'm Odie.
And together we are the aforementioned Snurds here on episode 129 of the Black and Snurdy podcast. If you're a first-time listener or watcher, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. We like the engagement.
Unless you're racist and dumb, like the people we get on TikTok.
True. Do we get a lot of that on TikTok?
I will say, like, most recently, when I put up the clip for the previous episode where we were talking about the election, and the snippet I used was that white women want to be oppressors. And of course, one person said that we sound silly already. The other person said, who raised you? Something about, all white women we were all in white women were in the mansions and we were in the fields or something dumb. I don't pay. Most of them, I don't.
Well, they were in the mansions. Were they not?
Really, I don't really pay attention to these ones. One, because please hate watch us and hate like us and hate comment on us, because that means
it's engagement.
It's engagement.
Yeah.
And two, I feel like a lot of these people are bots, because I'll click on the page and it's like 0 followers, 0 friends, just like they don't have any posts up. So I don't really care enough.
I wonder if never mind. I wonder if those bots have more followers than a certain
okay.
A certain account.
How are you doing?
Anyhow, I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm I don't know.
Still? Not still. Like it's oh no, I don't have it
every week.
Oh
every
my
week.
Goodness. But
yes, I am okay. I'm not gonna go into heavy details, but
you know what? I wasn't thinking about that. Sorry.
Oh, I'm glad you have the privilege to not be thinking about
that.
Sorry.
I wasn't.
I'm sure that
I thought
for you, it's not top of mind. For me,
I thought you were just talking about the election.
That's just. But we're in the end of days. Like whatever. That's all consuming. Whatever. Who cares?
Okay. Because that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say it's been a week to process everything.
No. We haven't even. We've
started.
We've already got a hint, which will some of the things we'll talk about of how terrible this presidency is going to be. But the reason why I am feeling very discombobulated and frustrated and mad and sad and all these other things and dysregulated is like an
dysregulate.
Feeling is because I had a medical emergency in my family, and it's serious to me. Some people are acting like it's just a walk in the park, but it's serious to me.
Do you find that it's a generational thing?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, where like
they always want to downplay stuff. Like at the end of the day, just remember, like, everybody gets older. Everybody, you have to rely on your family members for things. And that's something that's literally all lifelong. Like there's no part of time in my life that I could say that I didn't have to rely on people. And that doesn't change as you get older. Like the middle parts of your life, let's say from 25 to like 60, or 25 to 65. Let's give that range. You are more independent because generally, like most people in that age range are in, pretty good health. You don't necessarily, unless you have like something, an outlier thing, you might not have to depend on your family for money, for stability, et cetera, because you're doing that. You have possibly a partner or children or whatever, so you're thinking about different things. But I think that everyone should remember that there is no shame in talking to your family, your friends about something that's going on with you. If you are not feeling good, if you are feeling off of any type of way, just say it. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't, like, it's scary. I'm trying to remember that. Like, it is scary getting older.
Yes, it is.
Because your body is doing things differently than it did before. I mean,
than what you're used to.
We're 35. Our bodies are different than when we were 25. They're different than from when we were 15. You know, like, there are always going to be changes, and it's going to, you know, the severity is going to increase as you get older.
My knees ache when it rains.
But I think that, like, in order for you to catch on these things early and make sure that you're good, that you can't be afraid to say, like, I need help or something's going on with me. I don't, like, you have to just be transparent, because transparency and vulnerability is what create bonds and, you know, solidify connections. So yeah, but I will say that, like, what I do feel great about is, like, my friends have really jumped out to be super supportive.
Sure.
And have done things that they did not need to do, and have offered, whether it was money, you know, time to talk, a place to stay, whatever the case may be. And that to me is, like, amazing, because I think friendship is such a beautiful thing that to have. And I'm going to be biased, and I'm not even being biased. I'm being honest. Like, women friends, like, there's a reason why we call our friends, like, the loves of our lives, or our soulmates, or, like, our sisters, because when something happens, it doesn't matter
around each other
how long it is you've talked to each other. Do you talk every day? Do you, like, you know, whatever the case may be, they're going to be riding for you. And I feel that's, like, it's just beautiful to me. You know, not going to be getting, you know, weepy on the show, but I just appreciate my friends so much for all they do. And even though they don't have to, and, you know, even though I know that I would do for them regardless, like, having someone give you that same grace and love and just outpouring of kindness, it's beautiful. So I'm feeling a mixture of things. A lot of things are going on right now, but, like, such is life. Adulting is just a carousel.
Yes, it's
ups and downs.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's take a moment to cheers to sisterhood, to the Yaya sisterhood.
Yaya.
I figure you like that because it's a Beyonce song.
True that. Jesus.
Yes. With that being said,
are you ready to get into shenanigans?
Let's dive right on in.
We have a mixture this week.
Let's dive right on into our pop culture segment. Why am I acting like it's not titled pop culture? It's pop culture.
When you want a deal without a big deal, what you gonna pick?
Pop topics.
All right, let's just get on. But let's start with the most recent thing. We are recording on Friday, and if you did not know, Friday, technically Saturday, depending on where you are, at midnight, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson were scheduled to have this long-awaited, long-delayed, long-anticipated fight. This was the general consensus. The Flavor Flav tweeted this We may not agree about politics or religion, but we can all agree that we want Mike Tyson to knock out Jake Paul.
Yes. That's what's on the thing.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So this is a picture of the weigh-in. He smacked the hell out of Jake Paul. He smacked Jake Paul like your dad would smack you if you like stole his car.
Yeah, he
and,
smacked
like,
Jake
dinged it up.
He smacked Jake Paul like your mom smacks you when she comes home and finds out that you just took the chicken out of the freezer.
And have been running it
10 minutes-
underwater.
Yeah, and I've been running it over hot
And
water.
putting it in the microwave.
It has to be a mixture of hot and cold water so
so it
that
doesn't get cooked. Yeah.
yeah, hot water so that it'll thaw out fast, but cold water so that it doesn't seem like you just took that
Because the thing
motherfucker
about
out.
the hot water is if you put it on for too long,
Yeah,
the edges of the chicken will start cooking.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you don't want that. That's number one rule of thumb. Can't do that. Kids, if you are watching this, if you would like to defrost the meat quickly,
Mhm.
you gotta do it in the microwave because they have a defrost setting. The only thing that you gotta do with that is you gotta make sure you know the amount, like the right poundage or whatever ounces. Put that on. Boom, you're good. But you do gotta check it because sometimes, depending on your microwave, it could be a little bit too hot and it can start cooking the chicken. And nobody wants microwave chicken.
It's funny that you say kids because you want to hear a weird analytic fact.
What?
Our demographic skews older.
Oh,
80% 45 to 59. Only 20% 18 to 22.
okay. Aunties and mamas and,
Yeah.
and uncles and dads.
Dads and like mostly dads and a few grads.
Stop forcing your children to do the tasks that you forgot and getting angry at them.
Well,
Instead,
to be fair, sometimes it's not that they forget, it's just that they have to work late and they need that chicken to be
yeah, but
brought
like,
up.
why
You-
didn't you take
the
it out
kid-
before you left?
then you're just
You
gonna
put
have
it in the fridge. If you put the chicken in the fridge, it's fine. It's gonna start thawing. Even if you said, "Okay, I put the chicken in the fridge," take it out of the fridge when you get home. But if you put the chicken in the fridge when you left at 6 o'clock in the morning,
what, in a bowl of water?
No, you just put it in there and it just starts defrosting.
Mm,
If you put it in there, you leave. Say you got to leave out for 7 a.m.
mhm.
You put that thing in there right before you leave. Put it in the fridge. Say, please take the chicken out when you get home from school. For me, I got home from school usually between 5 and 6 p.m., depending on the year, because I had a lot of people on my school route and I was far from home.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Like that you gotta catch a bus.
Yeah, I had to catch a
We
bus.
had no buses.
I went to private school.
Had to walk home. Oh, I'm old enough now to be able to say this. I had to walk home uphill in the snow, missing a shoe, 10 miles both ways.
You would have said that even if your school was across the street and you had to walk.
And my school kind of was across the street. It was only like 2 blocks away.
Well,
Shout out to Leaf Walk Elementary.
so
Oh, we didn't do this earlier.
oh, we did. Well, back on topic.
Yes.
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. It much anticipated, as we said. It's interesting that, well, one, like, I hate Jake Paul and Logan Paul.
Well, we hate all the Pauls.
They're dumb.
Well, not all the Pauls. We hate the Paul brothers.
Yeah, like,
Not Paul Rudd.
No,
Paul
we love
Rudd
Paul
is
Rudd.
is
Mwah.
is one of the good
Amazing.
ones.
We love you.
Aging like
Beautifully.
Pharrell.
beautifully.
That's
But-
what I want to see, a movie with Pharrell and Paul
Are they
Rudd.
vampires?
As vampires, yeah.
That would be good.
As,
And also, they could add Halle Berry and Carol Dudley.
Ooh, okay. How about
Carol Dudley has to make a cameo.
Yes, she does. She just pops in, reminds people.
Oh my
that,
god, Carol Dudley could be Halle Berry's mom.
Yes.
Oh my god, that would
yes,
be perfect.
she can.
Because Miss Dudley, gorgeous,
She is very gorgeous.
gorgeous.
In fact, not only is she gorgeous, but I respect her so much.
Please.
Like,
Because she might listen to this.
no, exactly. I was just saying I respect her so much. I wasn't gonna say anything untoward.
Okay.
Now about Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
Remember when Hurricane Chris came to our homecoming? Was that freshman year or sophomore year?
I think it was sophomore year.
Halle Berry, because they used to do the Halle Berry.
We used
because of the video.
We used to make fun of that line. It's so hot up in the club. I ain't even got no shoes on. Like,
It is
I'm
hot.
just like, if you don't get your
Sometimes
athlete's
it's
foot
too
back
hot.
into those Pumas, fucking Hurricane Chris.
Anyway, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, they've been putting this fight up on Netflix for months.
Mhm.
It was supposed to initially, what was it, like the summertime was supposed to happen.
Yeah,
I think Mike Tyson might have had some health issues.
he had a health scare.
He's 58 or 60 years old, so makes sense.
He's almost 60. I think he's 58.
But there were some issues with the streaming
Yeah, there was.
because folks were upset.
I watched it and it was it was fuzzy for a good portion of the goddamn thing. I kept having to like back out and go back in, back out, go. At one point I had it running on the TV and on the iPad, and it sucks because I want to watch it on the TV, but the lag was so terrible.
But you couldn't stream, you couldn't cast it.
Oh, I didn't think to do that. I didn't think to do it from my iPad.
Yeah,
Well,
it cast on the TV.
That's already on Netflix though.
Yeah, but you could still cast it so you could just see in the bigger screen.
True. The long story made less long. The iPad was faster than the.
Yeah.
So I saw the results of the fight
Before you saw the
before
actual
I
fight.
saw the actual
Well,
fight.
unwatchable and hashtag Netflix crash were
Mhm.
trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
By the way, are you leaving Twitter?
Am I leaving Twitter?
Yep. So today, the 15th of November, Twitter had made some new terms and conditions where basically they're going to use your content for their AI purposes or whatever.
Oh, I'm barely on Twitter as it is.
And so people,
I just go on there for creep reasons. That's
people
all.
were saying that they were going to do like this mass exodus to like Blue Sky and all these other ones. There's too many new
Oh, that's
Mastodon and all
what
that.
I've been hearing about Blue Sky.
Yeah.
I've been hearing good things about Blue Sky.
Yeah, I think Mastodon might be the black-owned one. So I'm curious. Try that. I mean, I don't really necessarily want to get any new. I'm not leaving Twitter personally. Like, I'm not gonna leave.
Is the name Mastodon because that was the Black Ranger Zord?
Oh my god,
rem-
maybe
Wait, hold on. There was
because Mastodon is black
Tyrannosaurus Rex, Pterodactyl, Saber-toothed tiger, and Mastodon. Yeah, he was Mastodon, right?
Maybe that is him. It's Threads, Blue Sky, and Mastodon are the new like X competitors.
Okay.
But I'm curious. I think it is black owned. Who's the founder?
Yeah,
Oh, wait, no, it's not. That is not black owned. That is a white man.
He looks like
a white man.
he looks like my comedy friend Chris Gersbach.
Eugene Roshko.
Come on. Why does it have to be Eugene?
It's a good name.
It is.
Eugene.
No, I know it's a good
It's
name.
a good name.
And it's gonna be the name that I give my first son.
Anyway.
Just kidding. It's gonna be Malsumas. The god of chaos.
Anyway.
Mark this as the day that it is official. It is already on the podcast, so it has to happen. So there we go. Back to the Jake Paul and the Mike Tyson.
So at the end of the day, Mike lost. Jake won.
By unanimous voting decision. Nobody. First off,
it was only an 8-minute fight though, which I didn't.
well,
fight
not
for
8
longer.
minutes. It was
Or
eight
eight
rounds. Yeah. 8 rounds, 2 minutes. 30 seconds in between rounds. I knew Mike Tyson was gonna lose when I saw him come out with that knee brace on.
Well, he's old.
I know he's old.
He's almost. This is the thing. I saw
But
him.
he looks good
Yeah,
for
of
his
course.
age.
He's a athlete. But people, obviously this fight, I don't think, to me, like, I don't think this is one of those fights where Mike would have purposely lost. Like, remember when, what's his name? Oh, what's that?
KSI.
No. What is that other one that 50 Cent always laughs at because he says he can't read?
Oh, Floyd Mayweather.
Yes. Remember when Floyd Mayweather fought him and he lost?
Yeah, that was
to me was definitely like
stupid. That was shenanigans. That was
so he
shenanigans.
can't pay. Like he was getting a good big payout.
Yeah,
This one, I feel like Tyson was doing his
because
best.
it's an exhibition. Like,
Yeah.
it counts, but it doesn't really count because it's like it's not for like a belt or a title or anything like
But I
that. It's
feel
just
like
bragging rights and a big ass
Jake
payday.
Paul and Mike Tyson, I feel like was an actual real fight. Because even the other day, a clip was going around of Mike was getting interviewed by this young girl, probably like 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
And she's asking him about like his legacy. And he's like, I don't give a fuck about legacy. Like, who cares? We all gonna die. It doesn't matter what happens. Like, I'm just living here to do my best. But it's curious, like, and this is not, I'm not even trying to throw shade at Mike Tyson, but we watched that Mike Tyson documentary. Shout out to you, Trevante Rhodes, who should have been the sexiest man alive.
You mean the biopic?
The biopic, that's what I said.
You said documentary.
Whatever. Biopic documentary is a bio of Mike Tyson.
It's different.
I know. Thank you, film major. I know.
It's it's not even a film major thing. Like it's literally just a documentary. Is Mike Tyson for real? And biopic, there's an actor.
I know.
Doing all Mike Tyson's mannerisms.
Mike Tyson had a biopic starring Trevante Rhodes. It's on Hulu. It should still be on there. You can watch it.
Yes, I think it is.
And within that biopic, they were very, unlike Dr. Dre and Straight Outta Compton, they were very open and honest about a lot of Mike Tyson's, what is the word? Negative behaviors.
Mm-hmm. And his
abusive behaviors.
I was gonna say massive shortcomings.
Yes, because I mean, being a rapist, an abuser, and a user of in all these different ways. And now I do, like I say all the time, I feel like that you should be able to grow and change and not have necessarily your past held against you. But like this is just another example of like when people talk about women, when you talk about a man doing something to you, it's gonna ruin him, blah 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 blah. No. Because first of all, a rapist is in the White House.
Yes.
All of these rapists are still doing well.
Yeah.
People see Mike Tyson as this lovable, cuddly teddy bear.
Yeah. FAO Schwartz levels.
You know, like they just see him as this sweet guy. Now, I think that Mike Tyson is a terrible person? No. Do I think that the situations he was involved in and the people he was around and the way that he was raised caused him to be a menace? Yes. But I still would have wanted him to fucking punch Jake Paul. Especially because at the end of the fight, Jake Paul's talking about, this isn't for me, it's for the people in America, the police,
he
and
pulled
the
a
first
U.
responders.
I don't know if you heard him. He pulled a U and thanked the farmers.
But the thing is, what he said was, one of the things he said was like, you know, we're bringing joy or happiness or whatever back to America, which is clearly like, he's clearly a Trump supporter.
Yeah, that's some dog whistling if I've ever heard
saying
one.
Like,
yeah.
oh, happiness is back to America, like happiness for
it's
me.
a new age. It's there's newness in the air.
For
some
white
bullshit.
men, sure. I'm sure
Yeah.
for you, a white man,
Yeah.
that is great. So fuck you, Jake Paul. I really want him to lose all of his money. I hope that he does. I will not wish death on someone because you don't need to die. You just need to be like smacked upside the head like Mike Tyson did.
You can't suffer if you die.
Exactly. On to our next. Now, talking about white men that need to suffer.
Oh, man.
Alex Jones. So, yes, Alex Jones, due to his disgusting behavior, he has owed the family of the Sandy Hook survivors tons of money because he led this campaign saying that that didn't really happen. They were just paid actors. And just as a reminder, Sandy Hook happened in, was it 2012, 2013? It was like right after we graduated.
Mhm.
And this was a situation where there was a mass shooting in an elementary school.
Yeah.
And all of the people who passed away, there were like 2 teachers. The rest of them were like under 10. It was the most, honestly, the worst mass shooting that we have had in America, because mass shootings,
saying a lot,
because we have a lot.
Because not only did we have a lot, we do have a lot, and we still have a lot.
But that was the first one where it was targeting babies.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
that was like it still just rattles me, and and that is one of the things that reminds me that like America does not care about its citizens or people or children here or abroad, because at that time we did not get legislation on guns or anything. It was just thoughts and prayers.
Mhm.
But Alex Jones, due to his disgusting behavior, owed the families of Sandy Hook all this money. He filed for bankruptcy, and within that, his Chapter 7 bankruptcy, his site InfoWars has has gone up for sale. The Onion won the winning bid.
Mhm.
However, the bankruptcy judge who's overseeing the liquidation of Alex Jones' assets said on Thursday that he's temporarily halting the transfer of InfoWars to the Onion and ordered an evidentiary hearing for next week to review the auction. And Judge Christopher Lopez of the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of Texas said, no one should feel comfortable with the results of this auction. I do not know why that happened. It should not matter. Like, Alex Jones owes the families of Sandy Hook $1.4 billion
with a B.
With a B.
Mm-hmm.
A capital B, Beyonce, billion.
Yes.
For his lies, and he should 100% have to pay them. I'm sure he's probably has a lot of money in his offshore accounts that they can't touch.
Mhm.
But he is, I mean, I don't know what he has on this judge. They're in Texas, so that gives me a side eye about that, of like why they would try to stop this. But they're having a hearing about it, because honestly, the Onion owning InfoWars
is an Onion article. It's an Onion article.
Because the fact that Alex Jones used this website for such hate and degradation and just disgusting behavior.
Yeah.
I would love for the Onion to own this, and I hope that this case, it just sails through. There's no question.
If they own it, they should like repurpose it to be a actual parody of InfoWars.
Oh, sure, yeah, that's sure.
Just the way that Stephen Colbert did the parody of the Colbert Report was a parody of like conservative like pundits and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like and that was done very well. There's no way in my mind that I think that the Onion can't do something like productive with it.
Like,
you know?
The Onion is a parody
Too many negatives.
comedy website.
Yeah.
And I think the thing about comedians, which I don't think a lot of people realize, yes, they are funny, but comedians are very, very astute in a very variety of ways.
Yes.
And that's why they're so funny, because they're able to take what's happening in real life and make it funny.
Yeah.
And be satirical about it, and actually satirical, not like these other bullshit people who don't actually know how to be funny and just are punching down.
Sure.
So I do hope that that the InfoWars gets owned by the Onion. So just for the fact that Alex Jones is gonna cry about it like a little baby.
Yeah.
I love that.
I haven't seen not a hair nor hair of him. Not a hair nor hair.
A hide nor hair.
Yeah, I know.
No, I have. During the election, he was like talking because he and Steve Bannon and Alex Jones used to be besties with Trump.
Sure.
And during this most recent election, they were like, being anti-Trump. So I mean, honestly, but who knows? Yeah, like I don't trust any of these people. They will say whatever they have to say.
The great grifter off.
The great grifter. And as people from Howard will say, they're skit. Okay? They're paper. If you don't know, when people say you're paper, they're talking about you like someone joining a fraternity or sorority, not having to do anything, and basically skating by. So they're saying they're paper. And that is what they are. Grifters is also another term.
I wouldn't know. I didn't pledge.
So moving on to another random ass situation. Wicked is
Oh.
what did you put for this one?
Do you want to see it?
I do want to see it.
Here we go.
Of course you did. So Wicked, if you don't know, is starring Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming out. They're doing all this promotion, like they're everywhere, right? So they have Mattel created these Wicked dolls, launched them, having the two different dolls, super cute. However, they sent the people to buy these dolls on these special edition dolls to go to wicked.com.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I saw this, I was like, wow, wicked.com. It was a throwback to me because I remember like in college, wicked.com, I used to see the things, used to always try to like pilfer the content.
Yeah.
But the fact that Wicked still has a page up, great for them. And apparently, and I went to the site when I saw this article, I went to the site and apparently wicked.com, due to the Mattel shenanigans, has seen the highest spike in viewers
Yes.
in years.
Yes.
Because I can tell you, I've not been on a wicked.com site in a very long time. And if you know, you know.
You're listening to
No,
Black
that
and
is not it.
If you know, you know.
It's always the blue.
Okay, thank you.
It's always the blue.
Now, the people from Mattel, they put out a statement that said Mattel was made aware of a misprint on the packaging of the Mattel Wicked Collection dolls, primarily sold in the U.S., which intended to direct consumers to the official wickedmovie.com landing page. We deeply regret this unfortunate error and are taking immediate action to remedy this. Parents are advised that the misprinted incorrect website is not appropriate for children.
For those of y'all who I didn't read the entire article, I just read that they accidentally printed a porn site onto it, and that confused me. I didn't realize that they had printed Wicked. I thought that they accidentally printed like the name of a different site. And I was just thinking in my head, what site could it have been?
Yeah.
So like I was just going through, could it have been like Pornhub or Porndog or Spank Bank or X Videos or X Hamsters?
There's so many that you could choose from.
Blacked,
but honestly,
Tushy, Raw. Like,
remember that time when we were doing the episode?
And I made you look up Tushy.com and you looked it up and you saw what that was.
I saw it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I will say,
chef's kiss.
I completely understand how this Wicked is something. If you are a millennial, you probably know. But probably the people on the staff are probably more like either Gen Z or like Gen X and boomers who probably would not know that very specific website.
Yeah.
Especially because the content wasn't free. So it wasn't like you were able to just.
And not to mention, I'm currently on the Wicked site.
I was looking on it today.
If you look at it, yes, it does say the ultimate destination for award-winning adult content. But like, if you scroll down,
It's not very sexy.
It's not very sexy. It's not very apparent that these are porns, for lack of better words.
To me.
Like,
if I was a kid, I would definitely. If I was 14, 13, 12, I would know. But I
Talk of the Town,
but
The Hunger. Well, okay, fine. Sunny Gold Melon. Yeah, okay. The 66th Day, maybe.
Now, one thing I will say about Wicked is that if you look at like all the girls that they are having girls who are looking extremely young.
Oh,
They're not. They're 21 or 18 and up.
Yeah.
But that for me, or like that would be a reason why I would know. I'm definitely not looking at this. Now, maybe at 18, if I were on the site, I wouldn't have been seeing it at the same way. But to me, I don't want to see barely legal girls or boys in any sort of sexual situation.
Yeah.
I think it's gross. I think it's weird. And I think it perpetuates a lot of the issues that we have in our society. And so I would say Wicked, y'all need to do better. And there's also...
Wait, which Wicked?
No, but both.
Okay,
But also, they don't have any people... There's really no people of color in these videos. So that probably is also why I have not even looked at these.
Oh, Isaiah Maxwell. Good for him.
But that's the one out of... But you
that's real. I'm scrolling through.
Really search.
Yeah.
And I don't want to... Like, to me, like, representation is important. And I don't think that we should just have a bunch of white people being sexy. Like, there are plenty of other people that like sex as well and might want to watch it. So, Wicked, you got to do better. Both with the age range and the diversity.
Yes. Oh, they won for best editing. Good for them.
At the AVNs?
At the XBiz, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. For AVN, they won best art director.
Well,
and best screenplay. Look at
good
that.
for you.
Good for you, Wicked. Good for you.
All right. Now we're gonna jump. We're still in pop topics. We're gonna jump into politics.
Sure.
A little bit. Let's get our legs a little deep in here. So if you don't know that Trump has been naming the folks in his cabinet throughout the last few weeks. I saw this tweet, on Instagram, from the Meteor. And the post says, an accused, sorry, hold on. Can I say that or no? Can I say the word?
No.
Okay. An accused ex-offender to run the department that investigated him, a Fox News host to lead the Department of Defense, and now a man who fights life-saving vaccines to be in charge of health and human services. Feeling cynical? That's the whole idea. And just to give you a clarity on who they're talking about, Matt Gaetz has been being investigated for trafficking. And when he leaves the Senate or House of Representatives, whatever he is, they no longer going to be working on like investigating him because the department or like that coalition is going to be gone. And then Pete Hegsworth, who works at Fox News and also has some Christian nationalist tattoos on him, has been appointed to oversee our 1.3 million active duty troops as Secretary of Defense instead of the black man who has been like a veteran for X amount of years. And then, of course, Robert F. Kennedy, the bear and whale killer.
Yes, the guy with worms in his brain.
With worms in his brain, has been appointed for the to supervise public health. And I was reading, I was just looking for articles for this week. And one thing that I found that came up on Twitter, apparently a few months ago, Robert F. Kennedy was on a show, a YouTube show called Latino Town Hall. this was probably still while he was campaigning for president. And he said that he was going to make people who are on medication or depression medication, he was going to put them in wellness camps or wellness farms.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm going to create these wellness farms where they go to get off of illegal drugs, off of opiates, but also illegal drugs, other psychotic drugs, psychiatric drugs, if they want to get off SSRIs, to get off benzos, to get off Adderall, and to spend time as much as they need, 3 or 4 years if they need it, to learn to get reparented, to reconnect with communities. So you want to put people...
So drug camps.
Who are depressed, neurodivergent, have any sort of like anxiety, like mental health issues and disabilities. You want to put them in concentration camps. And like, is it because people who are taking Adderall are like going to be really fast in the work? Now, this is one thing I will say. I do believe that working outside and being outside is great for people who have like ADHD or neurodivergent. Like, I love working outside, but why would you be putting us in camps? And is by force? Like, how are you going to, how are you going to know? Is there no HIPAA violations here? Like, are you just going to be sending me off to go to these camps? Because, like, do I need to leave?
And you know what? This is why I am hesitant, because I was unemployed for the majority of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And every single application that I applied to had this section where they say disclose what your disability is, you know, and they have all of these litanies of disabilities, but they also have like the invisible disabilities as well, mental illness and whatnot, right? I was always hesitant to, you know, put my bipolar out there just for an interview, because what if this job sees that and they use that against me?
It's true.
But 2, why specifically, like, if it's a specific, like, if it's something like detrimental to whatever, not detrimental to the job, but if it's something that is very apparent, then I can understand wanting to disclose that. But if it's an invisible sort of thing, like, I don't understand why it is necessary for anybody to know that. Like I see the ups and the downs of that. Yeah. But I had the secret thought that if I disclose that, now that's on a public record, it's documented. Yeah. Not only could they use that against me, but also, like, I don't think they're gonna necessarily accommodate me. Yeah. But also, like, where are these records going? Like, who's housing this stuff? Are they going to the government because they're saying, like, they're doing that thing? You know how, like, you know, certain tax breaks for like having criminals or whatever. Yeah. Like, are they getting tax breaks for having my bipolar ass working at where I work now?
It's interesting that you say that.
Came close to revealing where I work.
It's interesting that you say that because a few months ago, I had saw on, I forgot what talk show it was, but this Black woman, she has a son who's autistic, and she's putting legislation for people to be able to put like on, like the way that you have on your ID card, how you might have like blind, deaf, you know, organ donor or whatever, that you could put like autistic or neurodivergent, whatever the case may be, on there, so that her, like, people who are neurodivergent would not be getting murdered or beaten up and harassed by police officers because they're not acting normally. And when I saw that, I shared it with my sister, and I was like, you know, on one hand, yeah, that sounds good because someone could be able to know that, like, you're dealing with someone that might behave differently than you're expecting, which for me, I know that, like, as a child, before I learned how to mask myself, I was constantly getting in trouble because if something was happening, I would be reacting in a way that people did not think was normal.
Mhm.
So it's like if I'm laughing, if you're asking me if I did this thing, I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous that you would even think that I would do that.
Yeah.
And also I have nervous laughter. But like on top of those things, like there were so many outlying factors. But knowing that, like, okay, if I have this little card and I can say, like, listen, I have ADHD, I might react to things different than you, could be a lifesaver, which is important. But then on the flip side, I don't need to have my like, and honestly, I don't like calling ADHD a disability. I don't like calling autism a disability. It can be, but like, I don't feel like ADHD is not a disability in the same way.
Would you settle on condition?
No, because I just feel like it's just a different way that your brain works.
Okay.
Because this is the thing. Being bipolar, I would say that is a mental illness.
Sure, it is.
And a disability.
Okay, yeah, it is.
Having ADHD or autism is just a specific way that your brain works. But that doesn't, it's not like where if you don't take medicine for having bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, or certain things where you might act like in a completely different way than the rest of the normal whatever society. I feel like neurodivergence, even though like bipolar is considered like, you know, a neurodivergence, I don't feel like ADHD is in those same parameters. And I don't feel like it should be considered a disability for your brain to be different. Now, I'm saying that, I also feel like bipolar disorder is also a way that your brain is just moving differently.
Yes.
So like
this fat ass cat. I just watched
she's
her
jumping up there.
I just watched her just like try to figure out what the fuck she was trying to do. She went from the desk to the drawer to the desk to the drawer to the desk to the drawer just to get her ass up there.
She wants to see outside.
It's dark as fuck outside.
She has cat eyes.
It is 3 a.m.
She has cat. It's not 3 a.m.
3 a.m. the Pancake House.
Anyway, I feel like it's I do feel very odd about labeling myself, and like you said, even though like when I apply to jobs consistently throughout the years since I got an official diagnosis, I do put down that I have ADHD. I say that I have ADHD in the interview because I don't want anybody to say to me like, oh, well, we didn't know, because I'm very upfront, and whatever accommodations that I need or want, no one's going to say to me like, oh, we didn't know about that. You had a bait and switch. But I feel like these sort of things create situations where you wouldn't want to disclose anything, because are you going to start putting people, how are you going to confirm or deny that somebody is on Adderall, Wellbutrin, Concerta, whatever the case may be,
Aripiprazole,
that they should be put into a wellness farm? Unless you're telling me this wellness farm means I'm going to get to go there and be able to live the way that I would love to live, which is wake up when I want, take a walk outside, enjoy my day, have some coffee, be looking at the land and like doing whatever. That's wellness. This to me feels like you just want us to work for you.
Yeah.
Unpaid labor.
Yeah.
Unpaid slave labor.
Yeah.
Is what I'm getting from these wellness farms. And that is the man who's going to be leading public health. And I'm like, right now, like I'm just like, do we need to be stocking up on vaccines? We definitely need to be like making sure that we go to the doctors before the inauguration to make sure any and all vaccines that are needed, that we have them, because vaccines work, people. My youngest sister has never had chickenpox. Honestly, I don't know if I don't think that any of my younger siblings have had chickenpox. Not to my recollection. Want to know why that is? Because the fucking vaccine. And we can say all these things about like the Tuskegee experiment and Agent Orange and all the other random bullshit that America has done within the medical industry to cause folks to have concerns. Those are valid. However, we do not need to have a country where people are not getting their vaccines because we might be fine, but there are plenty of people due to age, sickness, or whatever not having health insurance where they can't afford vaccines, where if we are not doing our due diligence, they are going to be. Where's the cat?
I don't know.
Is that whole thing closed?
Yeah, it is.
Aria, get your ass out from under there. She's inside the fucking window.
Oh, she is in the window. Okay. Look, I'm right there with you. We don't need these wellness farms. Like it's but I also feel as though that the next 4 years, next 4 years are going to be very interesting with the people that are being appointed in this cabinet. There's already we're seeing signs of fuckery.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fuckery that we're going to be experiencing when the time comes. And boy, oh boy, I'm not looking forward to it.
Well, let's just, before we switch to our happy things, I'm just going to give you some quick little stats. Okay. So they put out the National Institute of Literacy put out some stats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you remove, America has a reading problem.
Yeah.
For sure. Can you remove that so I can read the whole thing? So I'm just going to give you like a few things from these bullet points. Literacy data and its impact on society. 3 out of 5 people in American prisons can't read. To determine how many prison beds will be needed in future years, some states actually base part of their projection on how well current elementary students are performing on reading tests. 85% of juvenile offenders have problems reading, and approximately 50% of Americans read so poorly that they are unable to perform simple tasks such as reading prescription drug labels. Literacy data and its impact on the nation. Illiteracy has become such a serious problem in our country that 130 million adults are now unable to read a simple story to their children. 21% of adults in the U.S. are illiterate, and that was in 2022. 54% of adults have a literacy below 6th grade level. 45 million are functionally illiterate and read below a 5th grade level. Literacy data and its impact on the economy. 3 out of 4 people on welfare can't read. 20% of Americans read below the level needed to earn a living wage. 50% of the unemployed between the ages of 16 and 21 cannot read well enough to be considered functionally literate. Between 46 and 51% of American adults have income well below the poverty level because of their inability to read. Illiteracy costs American taxpayers costs American taxpayers an estimated $20 billion with a B each year.
I wonder why. Like that, some of these stats are eye-opening, but that last one kind of confused me. Like, what's going on that it's costing us that much?
Well, I mean, I would think that perhaps it's due to like sickness or general not being able to follow directions, et cetera, et cetera. Like, if you can't read your prescription medicine,
Mhm.
which is insane to me.
You think people are like taking too much or
You
too
take
little of their
little,
medication?
that means you're going to the emergency room more
Mhm.
or the hospital. And of course, if you're going to the emergency room, you are being treated because where we are in America. And if like anything could happen because of that. Like I have no clue why that is, but if you want to go learn more, you can go to the National Literacy Institute. They have the statistics. These are from 2022 and 2023. And I mean, last episode we talked about the Reading Rainbow and why it was so important and how it being cut by the Bush administration impacted so many people. Because if you cannot read, you cannot function. It's just that's just it. Because you can't go through this world without reading and being able to not only just read it, but like comprehend. Hence why we have the president that we have, because people are undereducated.
Yeah.
And they're going to continue being undereducated when they chop up the Department of Education and just give it to the states. Mississippi has like the lowest literacy rate in the country.
Yeah, that tracks.
What do you do? If you're the state? How are you going to ensure that the people in your state are all of them, not just the ones who have money, who have like really great public schools or can send their children to private school? What are you going to do to ensure that your folks are reading without a standardized across the country federal program to ensure that? That's scary.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's just continue on to other things. Now we're going to get into some politics. So as you all know, Martin Luther King Jr. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm X
Yes.
was assassinated in Harlem, I believe. And now his daughters are suing the CIA, the FBI, and the NYPD over his assassination. Of course, the lawyer Ben, I think it's Ben Crump, is his name, is handling their case. And this is what he had to say about it.
We here today officially announce the filing of our $100 million lawsuit against the United States government, the FBI, the CIA, and the NYPD, who we believe all conspired to assassinate Malcolm X, one of the greatest thought leaders of the 21st century.
We know Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., the FBI had huge files on them. They were constantly conspiring to bring them down. And Black people, at the very least, have always said that the FBI or the CIA, killed them because they did not want us to have Black leaders who were going to move us forward, especially because Malcolm X was very much by any means necessary. Now, when he came back from Mecca, and he had more of a he broadened his horizons about what it meant to be Muslim. Of course, that angered the Nation of Islam. So there have always been conversations about how the nation, there was Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, and also the FBI, NYPD had some part in his death. That has never been confirmed. But I'm glad that they're doing that. Good for them.
Did you ever watch that documentary, Who Shot Malcolm X?
No, I never seen that. Where was it on?
It was on Netflix. Yeah, like it turned out to be some dude in New Jersey who had recently died.
But this is the thing,
but it was a dude who was apparently he was a part of the Nation of Islam.
So we know that it was
He
probably
was
someone
physically the guy who did it.
Yeah, like we know that someone like in the nation shot him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people have always said like Farrakhan or Elijah Muhammad played a big part in it. But I 100% believe that the government could have conspired with anyone to get him out of there.
Yeah, sure.
The same way Fred Hampton, who is the movie Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah, Fred Hampton.
That was Fred Hampton, right?
Yeah.
The 21-year-old Black Panther that the American government killed and assassinated in his bed with his pregnant wife. We know that the American government is trash. So this is not surprising. And I hope they win 100 million. They might not get 100 million. I hope they get 50 million.
I hope they settle out of court
million.
for like some millions.
I don't want some millions. I want at least 50 million.
Yeah.
I want Malcolm X's great-great-grandchildren to still be living high on the hog from this money.
Yeah. Did you see my thing?
X marks the lawsuit. It's true. It does. Now for another civil rights movement. For another person who fought tirelessly for the emancipation of Black people and for the civil rights of Black people and women, Harriet Tubman has posthumously been named a general. On Veterans Day, she was given that honor. And if you don't know, throughout the Civil War, Harriet Tubman worked as a spy, and she enabled many victories for the Union. Governor Wes Moore of Maryland said, "Today we celebrate a soldier and a person who earned the title of veteran. Today we celebrate one of the greatest authors of the American story." And I mean, this is great. She deserves it. However, I'm tired of Black women, Black people getting all these flowers once they're gone. You know, like she did so much. She was a scout. She was a spy. She was a nurse during the Civil War. Apparently, she helped guide 150 Black soldiers on a gunboat raid in South Carolina that helped like turn the tides of the war. And it took how long that the Civil War ended? Was that 1865? How come we are in 2024? And she's just now getting that recognition? I know that she was like given, I believe when she died, like she was given like, you know, honors as a veteran, like by the people that she fought with. But it's just like too late, sir. Like, why are you giving her family money?
Why is this happening now is my question.
Are you giving her family money is the question.
Yeah, like does this for the descendants for the Tubman family?
That's all.
Like, does this help them in some way?
Keep your status.
Do they
Give
no
them
longer
money.
have to pay taxes? That would be a fucking huge one.
If my great-great-great-grandmother fought to free this nation of its terrible stain of slavery, you best believe I shouldn't have to be fucking paying taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm sure they still are because America's trash and they will only do things for pomp and circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
But in other good news for Black women, Erica Lee Carter, who is the daughter of the late Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, was sworn in to her mother's seat. And we have a little bit of a video. You want to do a little bum bum bum? So here's a video of her being sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God? I swear. Congratulations, you're now members of the 118th Congress.
As for this moment tonight, while joyful, it is bittersweet, because I wish she were standing at the podium to finish the 118th Congress on her own terms. Nevertheless, there's much work to do, and it is my honor to finish what she started alongside each of you. I will stand for justice, freedom, economic opportunity, and the dignity for all Americans. I'm so proud to serve all the people of the 18th Congressional District of Texas.
Well, congratulations to her. She is the first. This is the first time in U.S. history that a daughter has replaced her mother for her seat in Congress.
That's awesome.
So congratulations.
That's
to
some
you,
awesome
Erica.
news. Look at
It
that.
is.
Look at goodness happening.
We love that.
Yeah.
And now this next story, I was very excited to see this. In Australia, there was in Parliament, they were, or sorry, not in Australia, in New Zealand, the Parliament was attempting to put a bill across for legislation that would basically redetermine the terms that the Maori people originally established with the crown for what the Maori people, the treaty between the Maori people and the crown had. And this was the response to that decision.
We should describe what was in the video.
Okay, so this was the Maori people who are representatives in the parliament.
Sure.
In New Zealand's parliament were doing the haka.
Yes.
One of the women in the parliament ripped up the bill and proceeded to do the haka, which is a traditional it's a dance it's a dance for warriors, it's a dance for celebrations, it's a dance for funerals. Like, it's something that is extremely connected to the indigenous culture.
It's a part of their culture.
Yeah. And then today, there were 10,000 people in New Zealand took part in a protest toward the capital of Wellington to protest legislation that would reinterpret an 1840 treaty, which is considered New Zealand's founding document, that was intended, that the current parliament intended to roll back a long-standing rights for indigenous Maori community. The lawmaker in that video was 22-year-old Hana Rawiti Mapi Clark. She's the one that tore up the copy of the proposed bill and performed the haka on the parliament floor. And all I have to say is keep scaring white people.
Yes.
Scare them all the time.
Yeah.
Do it whenever you can, because the looks on the faces of the alabaster folks in Parliament, chef's kiss. I loved it. The haka to me is one of the most beautiful expressions of culture, and I'm so grateful that it is still such a significant part of the Maori culture, because there's so many connections between Black Americans and Maori people, of the way that we have been colonized, genocided, forced assimilation, and the fact that these are things that they have continued to keep into their culture. I love it. Like when I think of the haka, I think of like stepping, like the Greek steppers.
I was gonna ask, like, what would be the sort of comparable comparison?
I think of like Greek steppers, and I also think about like in the diaspora, like just the dances that we do, the way that they evoke such emotion.
Sure.
For me, like watching the haka, I can feel a variety of emotions, but the main one is just like
defiance
and glee.
Yeah.
Glee that does it not matter how long we have been colonized, how long we have been forced to assimilate into white culture. This is who we are. This is what we stand on, and you will not be able to take that away from us. And you have like the Maori in both Australia and New Zealand, they've performed the haka for Black Lives Matter, for Palestinians, for indigenous people around the world. And I just want us to remember in times of strife like we are currently in, that we are the harbingers of our culture, and it will never dissipate. It cannot disappear unless we let it. And so we constantly have to make sure that we are teaching ourselves, teaching the future generations about who we are, what our culture is, and imbuing the pride that we should have. Because before we were colonized, we were doing amazing things like slavery, colonization, genocide. That is not when our story started. So just love that. And our last politics story is about Chi Osi, he is a New York council member in Brooklyn. I believe he's in Bed-Stuy. And he was put out a video just talking about some of the dope things that he's done recently. So I will play the video for you. He's the one.
That one?
I think so. Yeah.
We just voted to kill forced broker fees in New York City. I'm leaving City Hall right now where we just passed my bill, the FAIR Act, which requires that whoever hires a broker pays the fee. So tenants are done paying fees to brokers they never wanted nor hired for apartments they found themselves. The fight lasted over a year and a half. We were up against the multi-million-dollar real estate lobby that threw everything against us, but the people were on our side. The passing of this bill proves that government can work and progressives deliver results for the people. Follow along for updates, but for now, just know we just changed New York forever.
Thank God, because I'm so tired of brokers' fees.
They're crazy.
It's ridiculous. Like the rent is already fucking high.
Too damn high.
The rent is whatever happened to that guy.
I don't know. Let me look at
you okay? Anyhow, the rent is already fucking ridiculous. It's already ridiculous that if I want to move, I have to save $5,000 for a mover to come and move all my shit. About $2,000 to get packers to come up here to pack all my shit because I'm lazy. And then first month, last month, and security deposit, and also another month's rent for it's not even first. It's supposed to be last month in it's supposed to be first month in the security deposit, right? Security is supposed to be the last month if you wanted to, or you get that back.
Yeah.
The broker's fee is supposed to be a month's worth of rent too,
which isn't. But sometimes
so that's insane.
But it's sometimes not a month's worth of rent. I remember when I was moving into my apartment, there were some brokers who wanted 10 to 15% of what the yearly rent would be. So like if you imagine if your rent is $1,000, which would be crazy. That would be $12,000 is your yearly rent.
Yeah.
They would want
10
to 15% of that.
So
imagine
10% of
first
12,000.
month, last month, security to your landlord, and then paying 10 to 15% for the person who just Googled the property or got contacted by somebody to put it on their website.
Shout out to Nas.
And then you are paying them, which is insane. Like, you should not need to have that much money to move.
Yeah.
First and last month, fine. Because there are times I had known situations where people move in, they're there, they're paying, they can continue to pay. So at least you have that first month rent, you have the last month rent, you're secure. Especially because New York has been for a while a renter city where it's like you can't just kick somebody out. You have to go through a whole process. It's very arduous and long. So it's like generally you are protected as a tenant.
Yeah.
But having to pay sometimes even more than your rent to move into a place, it's insane.
It's not even bait and switch. Like
it's predatory.
It's predatory.
Because
that's what it is.
I remember when I moved into my apartment in Flatbush that I joined like the Facebook group, and it was probably like that Thanksgiving. There was a apartment building where it was like a lot of it was not subsidized housing, but when you have like rent control.
Rent control, yeah.
And because it's rent control, they couldn't just kick people out. So what they did is they basically got it condemned and were forcing all those people to move out. So that meant all those people would have had to find first, last security on top of possible broker fees if you get an apartment with a broker.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
It's insane.
Especially when you know the average person is making less than $70,000 a year.
Not making that much.
So if you're making $55,000 a year, you have children, you have anybody else you're taking care of. Now you're supposed to come up with probably $6,000 to $7,000 or more just to move. And imagine if that's happening in like a month. This is why so many people are out on the streets, because they're being pushed out, because it doesn't matter. You can't use the amount of monthly rent payments you make. It doesn't matter if those are more than a mortgage payment. You can't just go get a house.
Right.
You have to prove all that. You have all these things, and then going to get a house even more so. And it's disgusting. It's predatory. It's greedy. And there's no human decency. And the fact that we have so many apartments that are just left open because people cannot afford to live there, like, that's a problem. And so, like, to me, like, I always have decided I'm not paying any broker fee. I'm just looking for my apartments.
Yeah,
I will
I long
find them.
since said I wasn't gonna pay no broker fee. I didn't pay any broker fee to get this place
Because it's like a little bit more extra work, but I'm gonna do that if I don't have to pay somebody else, some random ass person money. And it's not to say that I'm knocking your hustle, but you want me to pay you for Googling apartments, or someone called you for an apartment. It's not even like you're necessarily looking around for them. Like I remember in college,
I understand that, like, you gotta get your finder's fee. Get it from the fucking building. They have all the
but
money.
even like to me, a finder's fee, if you said $500 or $1,000, fine. That's like reasonable when you're thinking about moving because it's already like such an expense. But to pay 10 to 15% of the freaking whole entire rent for the whole year,
Yeah,
that's insane.
that is insane. That's insane.
Just to give you an update, the man who ran in 2010 with the slogan "The rent is too damn high," his name is Jimmy McMillan.
Jimmy McMillan, that's him.
Yeah, and so there are not many very recent articles about him. The most recent one I found was published on City Limits in October 18th, 2022. And it said that he was fighting to hold on to his apartment in his nursing home in Queens.
Jesus. The rent was too damn high even for him. Ain't that some shit?
I mean, the rent is just too damn high in general.
It's one of those things where I was like, I'm not happy that he's in this situation, but
it just shows
it's
you.
weird for me to feel like at least he feels authentic. You know what I mean? Like, at least he's not some sort of like the rent is too damn high, but secretly I'm a millionaire kind of person, you know,
But
like
even
feeding off of a movement. He's not a grifter. He's actually out here in the trenches living this shit, you know?
Even if I was a millionaire, I would say the rent is too damn high. Because regardless, because I'm saying like, if I made $1 million a year, I would still think it was preposterous that anybody is spending like $2,000 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah,
because I just feel like that's too much. It's too much. Okay, moving on. Now we're gonna get into some pop culture topics.
Sure.
The first one is we have.
I would argue that all of these is pop culture.
Yeah, no, they're all pop culture, but I'm just trying to give like the little sections.
Sure.
These are like entertainment.
Yeah.
So, one of my favorite boy bands, Boys to Men, Motown Philly's back in, is they're coming out with a biopic, apparently.
Are you sure it's not a documentary?
And so the biopic will span their 30-year career, which I mean has been amazing. Nathan Morris said, "We've been waiting to find the right partners who will understand our story and willing to tell it all. Dennis and Jeff at Compelling Pictures understood us day one." So the producers at Compelling Pictures are Dennis O'Sullivan, who did Bohemian Rhapsody, Jeff Calgalleri, who did I Want to Dance with Somebody, which was the Whitney Houston biopic. And they're in talks with writers and directors. I hope that they get this done right. They need to call the people who did Boys to Men, Bobby Brown and New Edition, because those were spot on casting.
Those were really well done.
Stories.
Those are really well done.
Chef's kiss. Now, I did not see I Want to Dance with Somebody.
I
know that it was popular.
Was it really? I was going to ask you if you've seen that.
No, I've never seen it. I feel like people.
I think it's on Netflix.
It is.
We should watch it. We should watch it. I was about to say tonight.
No,
but
you're not going to watch it. You're going to fall asleep.
I won't fall asleep on this podcast.
Boys to Men is my original B2K. Like, I remember being 5 years old and hearing Motown Philly back again. Chilling with that East Coast swing. Boys to Men going on.
I mean, they have
not too hard, not too soft. ABC. Okay, sorry.
No, it's fine.
got into it.
You got
I love
into it.
Boyz II
We
Men.
all love Boyz II Men, and I was simply going to say that if you told me that there was going to be a Boyz II Men biopic, I last year, I don't think I would have believed you.
Really?
Yeah, because
But
like
they have been a lot of places recently. They've done a lot of commercials. What's his name? The one with the super deep voice who used to have a kid.
that I don't know. That I don't
He
know.
is no longer performing with them because he has back issues,
I don't know
which
what
he's had apparently. Hold on, let me find his name.
I don't know what their story is like, but this is great because now I'll be able to know what their story is. I was going to say that like every Mother's Day, there's 2 songs in the Black community that you play. It's Dear Mama and Mama.
Mama,
Mama, you know I love you. Ooh,
Don't
you know I love you, Mama. Mama, you're the queen of my heart. And you love you from the start. Mama, I just want you to know. Loving you is like food for my soul. Was that on the Soul Food soundtrack? Yes, that's why. That is why. Oh my god. We should watch Soul Food for Thanksgiving.
We should watch Soul Food for Thanksgiving. That would be a good
Does your okay, so all right. So
Tangent.
a little bit of inside baseball. We're about to go down to Maryland to Maryland.
Baltimore.
Well, we won't be in Baltimore.
No, we're gonna be in Baltimore and we're gonna be in Largo.
Baltimore, Maryland, Largo. We're gonna be in Largo celebrating Thanksgiving with Odie's family and probably one of my family. Does your family have like Thanksgiving traditions?
So I will say that like the Thanksgiving traditions, I do have them with my mom and my dad. With my extended family, not so much.
Okay.
Like with my mom, we used to like, do Thanksgiving, then we would go to a movie.
Okay.
Usually at that day. Like my dad, we would just like have Thanksgiving and then we would like watch something or be at the house.
Sure.
Now, this is what I'm gonna say about what I'm curious about for this Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I haven't told you. God, what is going
Yeah, for while you're doing that, for my Thanksgiving tradition, we always watch 3 movies: a kids movie, a family movie, and a action movie. I remember the year we watched Shrek. We watched. I forget. It's always 3 movies. And then of course
during watch that one with Halle Berry where she was a lesbian.
Oh my god, Bruce! And that was the year that we were celebrating at Rhonda's house, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Yes, it was, because I just remember like and that's also a weird tradition that me and my dad have, watching uncomfortable movies with weird sex scenes.
That's all of us in our dads.
Like me,
that's what we did in our weekends.
My dad took me to go see 300 and Sin City back-to-back weekends, and it was just me just like
my dad took us to see Boys Don't Cry.
Really?
He didn't.
Why?
So this is what happened. We were watching he didn't. My dad was never looking up the trailers or anything. He was just like, all right, whatever, we're going to the movies, let's see that one.
But like,
Hilary Swank, okay, I like her. We went into that, and so I think once he realized what was going on, we left mid-movie and went to go see Bats, the one that
Bats.
Yes, with
Bats.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you who was in Bats. In 1999, it was what's his name was in here. You're gonna know who I'm talking about. Bats was a movie about these like rabid Lou Diamond Phillips.
Really?
And Leon was in it. Wow. And I know my dad would like Leon because Leon's obviously quintessential black man.
Yes.
But it was about like these bats that were mutated and escaped and were like killing people. So we went from Boys Don't Cry, a movie about a true story about a transgendered man who was murdered by his friends for being transgendered, to this diabolical horror film. I was 1999. I was 10 or 9 or 10. And it was terrible. I was scared, and yet we sat through it and we watched it. But no, I feel like movies with our families on Thanksgiving is great. I hope that we have a movie for this Thanksgiving.
I hope so. You were down there. We went to Thanksgiving, 2 years ago to Maryland. And we watched Vivo.
Yes, we did.
We watched. They had Vivo, and
but wasn't that we didn't we also watch It's a Wonderful Life too? Because I remember we were watching that.
I don't no, that was at Dad's house.
No, that was at Dad's house. But I'm saying like they were watching Vivo at your sister's house.
Yes.
Or at your dad's house because It's a Wonderful Life was like on a marathon.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about what's gonna happen with this Thanksgiving food wise. Because I don't know if my dad's gonna cook. If he cooks, I won't have any questions. But like I
was gonna ask you off mic about the food situation.
My
dad wants to know if he should bring anything.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later.
I did not grow up having like Nigerian American Thanksgiving.
Sure.
My dad made traditional Thanksgiving things.
Sure.
When we would go down to like Maryland, we would still have traditional. From what I remember, because I was small, like we did usually have traditional American things, but I'm still like, maybe I should make mac and cheese. Like maybe
you think you should make? Are you gonna? Okay. All right.
These are the things that I know that I want. I want mac and cheese, and I want candy jams. Outside of that,
I want mac and cheese and cranberry sauce.
But the jellied cranberry sauce, I do not want. My dad loves to make fresh cranberry sauce. I do not want that.
No, I want
it in a can.
I want you to undo the can,
and pop it like this, and let it come out.
You know what? We might actually. You know what? We're on the same page with this one.
I do not want.
This is why I fuck with you, because like
I don't want fresh cranberry sauce. Of course,
it's fresh cranberberry sauce.
Like, oh yes, it's artisanal and it's like fresh and No,
I want.
Give me cranberry jello
in the shape of the cylinder that it came in.
It needs to have the rings around.
And then you just slice off a slither
and
of
that's
that
when
circle.
You know how to slice it. I slice it through the sliver.
Exactly. Although I usually take about 2-3 slivers.
Of course, it's delicious.
Yeah.
You gotta take the first sliver because the first one is that faux block, and then the rest of them are little.
Yeah, the next one's because motherfuckers don't know how to cut. All right. Anyhow, that's gonna be Thanksgiving, and I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. It's in 2 weeks.
Yes, and now
we're also gonna have to talk about our recording schedule.
Just so we can go back to Boys to Men. The members are Nathan Morris, Sean Stockman, Wanye Morris, and Michael McCary. Michael is the one that has back issues and no longer performs with them.
Sean Stockman.
Okay.
Bitch ass and hide the Bible if God's watching.
Moving on.
Yes.
All right. So that we're getting into some entertainment news now. That's dope. Have you heard of Lena Horne?
Yes, I have.
Fun fact, my Nana went to high school with Lena Horne's sister.
That's cool.
Yeah, she always talk about it.
Do you want to take these shots? By the way?
Yeah, sure. Let's take them.
Yeah. Cheers to Lena Horne and her recent developments. Oh. Of course. I wonder why that is not where it needs to be.
It's your fault.
It is not my fault.
Calm down.
This is not Tyler the Creator's Igor, okay? It's not my fault. Ugh. Anyhow, so Lena Horne, what do we got? What do we got in store with Lena Horne?
Jesus. So on Broadway, Lena Horne has become the first Black actress to have a Broadway theater named in her honor.
Interesting.
On West 47th Street, the theater that is there is now renamed after Lena Horne. It was built in 1926, and Lena Horne died in 1920. And if you don't know, Lena Horne, she was major in the civil rights movement. She battled segregation to win a major Hollywood film contract, and also traveled around the world as a singer. She was the first Black woman nominated for a Tony Award for starring in the 1957 musical Calypso. The 1957 Calypso musical Jamaica. In 1981, she received a special Tony Award for Lena Horne, The Lady and Her Music, a one-woman Broadway show where she sang and talked about the ups and downs of her life and career. And so this is beautiful. If you see, like, there was obviously they have the Lena Horne Theater in the picture of the, what is this? The leaflet? What is that called? Pamphlet. The program. So congratulations to her. She deserves it. She was one of the quintessential iconic Black actresses from her time, and even though she could have passed, because white people are very confused when it comes to light-skinned Black people, she didn't, and she used her light-skinned privilege to open up the doors for many other Black actresses. We wouldn't have Lena Horne. Well, without Lena Horne, we wouldn't have Halle Berry. We wouldn't have Viola Davis or Kerry Washington or Zendaya. I mean,
Sandy Newton.
The myriad of Black actresses who have made their way onto the screen. So we
Zoe
say,
Saldana.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shout out to all of them that we just mentioned.
Yes, shout out to all of you. Next up, we have another iconic actor who is still with us, and he goes by the name of Denzel Washington. So in a recent interview, he said that he is going to retire, but not before he has his final films that he's working on. So he's working on Spike Lee's High and Low, Anthony Fuqua's Hannibal, about the, not Hannibal Lecter, about the general. The general.
Yeah.
He's doing a Steve McQueen project, which is currently untitled. He has a role in an Othello adaptation, which I want to say he might have actually done Othello on Broadway or on theater. Not sure.
I thought that was, he might have done it on theater because the movie Othello was with Sidney Poitier.
I thought you were going to say the one with, was it Omar Epps who was in the movie O?
Yeah, that was O. That was Josh Hartnett, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Maybe I'll watch that tonight.
And also,
no, I'm not watching shit.
You're
tonight.
not watching it tonight. But also something that we found out, which is super exciting. He is going to have a role in Black Panther 3. Apparently, Ryan Coogler is writing him a role in that. And now my main question for you is, do you think he's going to be Denzel in this role, or they're going to make him do an accent?
That's a good question.
Because Denzel,
that's a really good question.
I
have yet to see Denzel do a accent.
Only type of accent he has done.
He's only done the Denzel
Shakespearean.
Accent. Yeah.
And even then, it was like Denzel Shakespearean.
Yeah, like I really hope. My hope is that if he's in this movie, he's the villain.
Ooh,
he's an American villain
in this.
Be
a good villain, Killmonger.
Yeah, he's Killmonger. Well,
Killmonger's
dad. Well, no,
no, but he's not. But like
what's his face was Killmonger's dad. Yeah. Sterling K. Brown was Killmonger's
But like
dad.
Like an American, but like that type of. Like
I want to watch Black Panther tonight.
Beautiful movie. But like, honestly, whatever he does, I'm gonna love it.
But this kind of bumped me out because I was kind of hoping that there wouldn't be a Black Panther 3.
Why?
I was kind of hoping that they just let it be, you know.
They can't.
I know, because franchise and money and everything
Well,
like that.
that too,
and
but
fuck
also,
legacy. But
if
like,
you think about all
it
of
just-
the Black people that are getting work due to Black Panther, like
yeah, I know that it's gonna employ a bunch of people, but like the hole that Chadwick Boseman left,
I know
is
it's
like,
hard.
It's hard.
It's hard to want to see a movie that he was the star of.
The only
without him
thing that
being
makes
there.
sense is his son becomes the next Black Panther.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. But Denzel Washington, if this picture is from the most recent Gladiator movie and the reprisal that they've made.
You know, they cut out a kiss scene.
They cut out a gay kiss scene, and Denzel Washington himself put it out. And he said, I kissed a man on the lips.
Mm-hmm.
They took it out. He felt like they were scared. And I'm like, how could Denzel Washington kissing another man?
Well, they wouldn't even let
100% is going to get people to see.
They wouldn't even let Denzel Washington kiss another Black woman.
Well, that's true.
No,
but
think
he never,
about this.
But he
Can
never
you
kissed a
name-
white woman because he said, I will not kiss a white woman on the screen because I do not want to alienate the Black women
Right.
that I am.
But that's what
here
I'm saying.
for.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Can you think of a movie where he's kissed anybody?
No, he doesn't.
He
really
didn't want to
do-
kiss any white women, and I don't think they let
Okay,
him kiss
well,
any Black women.
Out of Time, because remember he did Out of Time with.
Did he kiss anybody?
Sanaa
Never-
Lathan. I think
yeah.
he kissed Sanaa Lathan.
I don't think he did.
So only reason I think he kissed Sanaa Lathan is because I
Let me see
remember
where
that
Out of Time is.
there were allegations that Sanaa Lathan and him were having a little thing, but his wife Pauletta Washington, who is also an amazing actress,
Oh, of course it's on Pluto.
of course it is.
And
She's an
Tubi.
amazing actress. She actually ended her career to raise their children,
Mhm.
which he always talks about and bigs up. And I even watched a video of her son. What's his son's name? Damn it. Hold on. Denzel Washington son.
While you're looking that up,
His name is John David Washington.
Mm.
He was just talking about how.
Is Gene from Tenet?
Yes.
Holy shit!
Yes. The movie we've tried to watch.
That mumbling movie.
Multiple times.
Maybe I'll watch that tonight.
But you know, there are one of my friends in my Discord, she loves Tenet, and she's like, you need to watch it. I could not understand what was going on.
No,
Very
I mean, it
weird.
was hard to understand and it was hard to hear.
I was confused. It's dark.
It's on.
Not loud.
You want to try to watch that movie tonight?
Sure.
Because it's on TBS/TNT,
We
and I
have-
know that your ass is insomniatic. You ain't going to sleep after this.
You
So
don't know my life.
I know so much more about your life than you think I do, and that I even think you do. So
Whatever.
yeah.
Anyway,
Just every fucking night is just like I know you think it's like, oh, he must be asleep. No, this nigga is awake because you're not fucking quiet when you walk into the fucking thing and you take the glasses off my fucking face, and I'm just
do
like,
you now want me to take the glasses off your face while you're sleeping every
this,
night?
this is what I am. That's what I am. I hear that door open, I'm just like, let me look at what time it is. Okay, it's 5:41. Okay. It's 5:41 in the morning.
I take the glasses off your face so you're not sleeping uncomfortably.
I'm like, okay, what time is it? No, it's 3:27. Here we go. All right. Okay. Okay. It's actually 3:00. Okay, so the timer that I set actually mattered this night. And then sometimes it's just like, oh no, it's 6 with Tamara.
I told Tamara that
7.
I told Tamara
Mm.
about you calling us demons when we're together.
No, yeah, you're party monsters.
And then when we were together last weekend
Mhm.
before she left, we were with Albert, and I was like, Albert, this is what Maurice said.
Mhm.
How are you feeling? He was like, yeah, no, of course.
Yeah,
You are.
same
That
thing.
is exactly
Same
how
thing.
I feel.
Same thing.
And I mean, hey,
Same energy.
what you gonna do? Oh, we can't help it. It's who we are. It's what we do.
I guess I can respect that you're unapologetic.
I am 100%. Listen, Tamara and I, and you haven't even been with us with Geroniki, which is like a whole nother level of shenanigans. Because Geroniki and I are both Geminis, and we, we're just living life. So why not? Like, you gotta do it. You gotta live your life.
Oh.
Just live your life. Just live your life. Anyway, Denzel's retiring. Do you think he's actually going to retire, or is he going to do one of those?
I think he is. I think he is going to actually retire.
He's been around for. He said, I watched a video from him today in a podcast he did. He has not auditioned for a film in 35 years.
Need to.
In 35 years.
They literally say, hey, we need a Denzel Washington type. Why don't we just get Denzel Washington?
It's true.
Even Don Cheadle doesn't have that fucking level.
Listen,
Don Cheadle has to fucking audition for Terrence Howard's part because Terrence Howard wanted more money.
Oh my God, did you see Terrence Howard's thing about him creating like a new way of like space-time continuum? It was very weird.
Oh yeah, that's old. That's old.
No, this is new. The recent.
He's been talking about that for a while. No, I'm telling you, it's old.
But he had pictures this time.
Oh, he had pictures this time?
There were pictures. Hold on, because I was sending it to Tamara earlier, so we could talk about it.
Because he's been talking about that for some time now, like some sort of like fucking science math bullshit. Like,
so he said that there's a new form. He created a new form of flight called tangential flight, which he says will eliminate the need for cranes and greatly assist how humans handle construction and lifting.
I created things that you don't even need cranes, man.
They are drones. They're drones. They're drones connected to each other.
Exactly. He created Lego drones.
This is the thing.
Legos.
Terrence Howard thinks he's Iron Man. He
No,
thinks he's Tony Stark.
He
does.
He has
black
thought
Tony
that
Stark.
he thought that he was the Black Tony Stark because
And then they said, "Get out of here."
They made him the Black Tony Stark, and then he wanted more money,
and
then they said no. Okay, all right. We don't have enough. We don't have enough time for this.
We're moving forward. Let's do our last entertainment, and this is about the People Magazine's one of the People Magazine's sexiest men.
Mm-hmm.
So Benny Blanco, if you do not know him, he's dating Selena Gomez, and in his recent People Magazine article interview, he said that he doesn't shower every day.
Did you see what I said?
I did see that.
Okay.
He said, I do a thing I do a thing where I also don't believe in always shampooing your hair or conditioning your hair. I'm really clean, but I don't shower every day. But some people I know shower 2-3 times a day. But I feel like the oils on your skin don't have time to rejuvenate and get juicy. I want them to be I want there to be an aroma as I'm walking by. I want to smell a little bit like man, a little bit feminine. I definitely lean, I think, a little more feminine in every sense. Now, let me tell you this thing.
That's insulting as a woman,
it's
right?
Insulting as a woman, and also
that there's a woman odor.
If you walk by somebody and there's an aroma, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, no.
Like when I want, like I have all my oils and unctions, as you like to say.
Yes, oils and unctions.
I like to put perfume and my oils on or whatever. When I walk past you, I want you to be like, "Ooh, what's that?" You know, like I want to have a signature scent. I do not want an aroma because to me, someone having an aroma means that like
Either they are
It's-
delicious
you're
or
stinking.
funky.
No, it's not even delicious. You're stinky.
Because when
why do you have an aroma?
when I think of aroma, I also think of like food.
but I feel
Food
like,
has an aroma.
I feel like if a person has an aroma,
Mhm.
that it means that like
There's an aura around
there's
them.
an odor, not an aura. There's an odor.
Okay.
Because an aroma,
aroma is inviting to me.
it is. Aroma is inviting, but I just feel like if you walk past
But
somebody
what he's talking about is
and
funk.
you have an aroma, like you're
Yeah.
not showering every day.
Yeah.
What about on the days where it's hot? And I'm sure that he probably lives in California.
Yeah, he does live in
So
California.
you're living in a climate that's warm.
Benny Blanco is the dude from Dave.
Which one is he in Dave?
He was the producer who kept calling him
Oh,
Jeff or some shit like that. Remember?
okay, yes.
Gotta go
But the
watch
thing
Dave
is,
again.
I love Dave. Is there going to be another?
No,
season?
that was it. That was
I
it.
love
3
that.
seasons. 3 and
I
done.
personally really like Dave, but I will say, you should not have an aroma. You should have a signature scent
Yes.
when you walk past somebody, but not an aroma. An aroma means you're not showering your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Someone can smell your balls,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not good. And do not like we're in the midst of multiple pandemics. Even
We're
now,
in the midst of a drought in New York.
a drought. Even right now, the H1N1 or the bird flu. Every day I'm coming online, I'm seeing more people talking about this person has a bird flu, that person has a bird flu. We don't know whether or not this is going to become the next pandemic. And you're not washing your ass. That is a problem.
It's really not
Wash
that
your
hard.
ass.
It's not that hard to take a
And he has
shower
so much money. But
twice
also,
a day.
let's just go back and look at this picture.
or even once a day.
Take off the Benny and the Jet and the water jets because very great wordplay, I will say. But look at this picture. He looks dirty, and I would not eat any food in his house.
Yeah.
I would not eat any
His
food
feet
in his
don't look fine.
Look at his feet look at his feet next to the pot.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
The thing is that white people with money, they behave so ridiculously
Mm-hmm.
that you would think it's okay for you to have endless water, endless hot water and food and beverages and perfumes and all those things. Yet you're not using them. You're not using not one of them. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And then you look down at us. Do you know, like, when the colonizers came to the Americas, that they assumed that Native Americans, and I'm talking about, like, say, in, like, the Mexico, Central America area, Aztecs, Mayan area, they assumed that they were looking at them as gods because they were walking behind them with, like, incense and all that stuff. They assumed, oh, like, they love us so much. No, it's because you fucking stink. And even to this day, regardless of how much people of color have tried to get you to wash your asses,
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not washing your legs, okay. Disgusting, but I can, at least water's coming down your body. But not washing yourself. So are you going to the gym? Are you outside? Are you moving around? Because I'm confused. There's no way that you would have to pay me buku money to get me to say on camera for in perpetuity that I'm not washing my ass.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Well,
But,
hey.
they do what they want.
It is what it is.
Um,
All right. So that's been the show.
What?
Yeah, we have 4 minutes. That's been the show.
Okay.
And
But before we finish the show out, can I just put one thing that made me happy?
can you do that in 4 minutes?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. All right.
So I saw this on my friend time, Brianna, who we were on her podcast episode for her class at University of Maryland. She shared this. And it is a man with autism who has joined Alpha Phi Alpha. He's so ice cold.
Are you gonna do the whole video?
I'm gonna put the video on.
That's right. I am the tail of this line. That's right. If you didn't know, I have autism. But that doesn't stop shit.
So that made me very happy when I saw that,
Mhm.
because I think that like a lot of times people who are neurodivergent, they have autism, ADHD, etc. A lot of times people think that like they're not ever going to be able to live normal lives. And Bryce Hunter has crossed the fiery sands of A Phi A Alpha Kappa
No, Phi.
Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
They're so cool. And I just love this, and that like I think that it's just amazing and beautiful and stupendous that we're seeing Black people who have disabilities getting their just desserts. And can I play one more thing?
No.
It's only 29. It's
No,
like 29
no, no,
seconds.
no, no, no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
cut
no, no.
out the rest of it.
We
It's
don't have
20
that. We're not cutting out as much as you think we're
I'm
cutting
going to
out.
cut
It's
out.
already at the 2-hour mark.
But we're at 20. But it's 29 seconds. I promise I will cut out more than enough to make sure that we're meeting the requirements.
Go, do it now.
Okay. I'm playing this. This is one other last thing that made me happy.
That I'm encouraged even in this awful moment is because I just don't think that white supremacy is all powerful. It has a weakness. It has its limits. And I know what the enemy looks like. I know what his weakness is. I know what my strength is, what my community's strength is. And I think that knowledge keeps me going. And not only me, but also other people that are in the fight. And we just need to remember that.
So that was one of my sister's friends from college, Maisha Cherry, PhD. And I think that we should all remember that throughout these next 4 years, that white supremacy is not nearly as all-encompassing as you think. Regardless of what we're dealing with, we always have the ability to fight and move forward and continue to grow and find happiness and joy, et cetera, because we've always done that. So that's it.
All right. And with that, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. We'll be back next week with more of the Black and Sturdy podcast. Until then, take it easy. Keep it sleazy. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snurdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snurdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorice is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's ThatsOD, and on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Sturdy podcast, where nerds of a feather rock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.